Well, welcome back. The time is 5:29. As you've noticed, Brad is back from vacation, fresh off vacation,
Welcome
to the
back.
last frontier, right?
That's right, the final frontier.
The final frontier.
Well, not
final,
space,
last.
That's right.
Doesn't that mean the same thing? But
What?
it is.
Well,
I was
yeah.
wrong. I was wrong.
I don't think you're totally wrong.
But
I don't know much about Alaska.
you're here to talk a little bit about your trip. You were gone for about almost a week and a half.
That's right. Well, yeah, about a week. I did join the trip already in progress. I was not there for the full trip,
Yeah.
which is normally 13 days. I have done that trip before in the past where it is the first 13 days. So I missed the first few days. So we started in Fairbanks, Alaska. That's where we started. And then we drove the next day, once we got there, across eastern parts of Alaska. This is a shot of the pipeline, the Alaska pipeline. We stopped for there. That was going over a river.
Do we get oil from that?
Yes, we do. Yes,
Okay.
we do.
Oh, look at
this
Brad
is
with a beer.
This is in Tok, Alaska. This was at a very small place. We had to stay, and it was a cool place. There was a nice little bar there. So I had a beer. We had some good food, and that's me enjoying that.
Tok, Alaska.
Now, this is also Tok, Alaska, but I want to tell you about this because this picture was taken at midnight. I actually set an alarm to wake up to go take this picture at midnight because, as you know, it stays light pretty much all day.
Yeah.
And this was midnight, and I think it even would have been brighter. I mean, we had some pretty heavy cloud cover at that time, but you can see this is midnight, and it's still fairly light even with the heavy clouds. So that was...
Was
Go
that
ahead.
a really hard adjustment? Was that crazy to see it be that bright?
Every time you would look outside the window, even with like the curtains closed, you could still see, 2, 3 o'clock, there was still light out there. Whether it was dusk or twilight, whatever you want to call it, it was still light. Let me tell you, when we came back the day we came back to Nebraska, which was a Sunday night, it was weird being in total darkness. I didn't think I'd feel it, but it was like, wow, it just feels so dark. Not that it would have been dark to anybody else, but I just remember, like, why is it so dark?
It's like an adjustment.
It was
isn't
really a big adjustment because we had so much light during the night. All right, we can move on to the next one. This is again about ready to head into Skagway, Alaska. This is some of our group. We stopped to look at Emerald Lake there, which was beautiful. This is in Skagway with some of our friends on the trip. So there's the boat behind us,
nice.
the ship, and then some mountains behind Brad's trip to Alaska. There's another group of some of us. This was about before we got into a train which goes up the mountain, very high up into the mountains, and there we are in the train.
In the train.
Up to the higher country and the next country. So this is some of the scenery. This is some of the scenery there. Again, this is Skagway up the mountain.
Gorgeous.
This is where a lot of the gold rush people from the 1890s would go up that thing, and there was a lot of tragedy. But
How's the weather up there, Brad, in this area?
it was chilly. Now that, if we could go, maybe we can't. But I wanted to tell you about that picture because that was still a lake that was partially frozen.
Oh my gosh.
In June, that's right, in June. In fact, I think it was the first day of summer. I think we were there.
Yeah.
So anyway, this is as we go to Glacier Park National. Let me say this again. Glacier Bay National Park. Thank you. That's where we are here.
Thank you, me.
That's right. So it just this is from the ship. This is on the cruise ship.
Wow.
Just stunning.
I know.
Stunning
Great
pictures
pictures.
there. I mean, the pictures just don't even say what it was like. There's the Marjorie Glacier there, and we did see some calving, which is when a big chunk falls off, and you see it before you hear it because you're still a ways away, and then you hear this crash and thunder and all that stuff. So that was cool. This is in Ketchikan. This was a little further south. This was a port stop. So there's our ship again, and then we'll see what's happening next after that. Right there's a sunset.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, we were in Ketchikan for about most of the day, and that's a great place to go. And this is back on the ship as the sun set. It was beautiful. This is a picture of my feet.
now,
got a
Brad,
nice
you
balcony.
can sell that.
This is actually on the cruise ship, and it is. We had a balcony, and it was sitting there. It was sunny. Now you can see I had socks on. It was a little cool, and even though it was sunny there, it was still like only in the 50s.
Oof.
But it was beautiful, and it wasn't that windy, and the sun did feel warm. So
Yeah.
that's me just relaxing on the balcony. Again, here's some more people. We're having dinner. More of our group. Fantastic group of people. wonderful trip with them. This is as we return to, there should be a picture of Vancouver in there, but maybe I sent it out of order because the ship docked in Vancouver, and then Canada, then we took a bus down to Seattle. So this is us driving through Seattle. It's taken through the bus window, so the pictures aren't that great, but that's Mount Rainier. There's Vancouver,
Oh,
so I did
wow.
switch it up, and it's probably my fault when I sent it to Ryan, our producer, but that was Vancouver. Mount Rainier, obviously, in Seattle or near Seattle. And then there's some more pictures of our group on our final dinner. And I think there's a couple more. There's the Space Needle again from the window of the bus. We didn't stop in Seattle. I mean, we stayed the night in Seattle, but we were just kind of driving through downtown Seattle.
No tourist stops.
Right. When I said drive-through, it was more like 45 minutes of stop and go. But that's another thing.
A lot of traffic.
That's right. A few more pictures of some of our viewers or some of our travelers that came with us. Again, it was a fantastic trip, and just thanks to all the folks that came with us.
Yeah.
It was great. More friendships. It's always great to talk to the people on the trips.
And there's a nice sized group of people that went with you too.
Yeah, there were several people. Not all of us stayed on the whole trip, but again, I came there in the middle of it. I wish I had more time with all the people, but it turned out to be great. The weather overall was great. There were a few days where it was a little rainy. When we were actually getting on the ship in Skagway, a rain shower moved through, and it was like a 30-mile-per-hour wind with rain, and it was summer, and we were all cold. We were all bundled up and trying to get on the ship because you had to wait in line to check in. So that was the only bad moment of timing where the rain hit right when we were ready to get on the ship. But otherwise, the weather was pretty good.
I mean, just breathtaking views, it looks like.
Yeah, like again, the pictures don't even tell you the story of the scenery I saw there with the mountains and Glacier Bay National Park.
Glacier Bay National Park. Well, we're glad you had a great time. Everyone on the
Yeah.
trip had a great time, but we're also glad that you're back, Brad.
Yes, it is good to be back. You
We
bet.
missed you.
Well, that's nice.
Well,
Thank you.
welcome back. Let's take a look now at today's question of the day.
All right. You see them on cooking shows all the time, but only 20% of households have one in the kitchen. What is it?
What'd you guess?
I said like a gas stove oven. I don't know if that's what you call it, but like
Yeah.
gas.
Instead of electric.
Flameage on the
Instead of an
stove.
electric oven,
Right.
Yeah.
they have the gas burners.
Like
Right.
natural gas or
I-
propane.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Thank
I
you.
said an electric hand mixer. Those big KitchenAid.
Oh, the
yeah.
standalone ones?
Yeah, the ones that
Oh, the stand mixers.
if you
okay,
have high
yeah.
hopes of making bread and cake and all these fancy things, and then you get it and then it just sits there and looks really pretty on your
And
counter.
collects dust.
Yeah.
That's a good guess. I almost went with that. I went with an apron.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's going to be totally random.
It will
It'd
be.
weird, yeah.
I've been seeing people on my Facebook guess like cookbook, and
That's good.
Yeah.
I thought that was really,
Yeah.
that was a good one. Nathan guessed a blender, which I've been seeing people guess that too.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have a guess for question of the day, post it to our 1011 Facebook page. We'll share some of your guesses at the start of the next hour.
Our time now 5:37, and the temperature in Lincoln currently at 69 degrees.
And we'll be right back.